Welcome back, everyone, to session 3 of the Long Voyage. No, you did in fact not miss an upload last week. We did not play last week for real life reasons, but we are back, and well, because we are back, we're going to need a recap. It has been a couple of weeks, so Chris, please take it away.
Yes, of course. Last week we carried on where we'd left off in the first session with engaging in combat with a group of mercenaries and the employ of the villainous Phelan family, who made every effort to be as evil and mustache-twirling as possible, which is saying something considering the world we've entered into. Combat was showed all kinds of helped show off our understanding of the GURPS system quite well. The characters had varying degrees of success in how well they performed. Ylva took a bit of time to sort of build up, but once she built up, nothing could stop her. She was just made jam of everything that came in front of her.
Pretty much.
Buggy was kind of hit and miss, with more emphasis on hit, I think. Frody just burned everything quite nicely, actually. Gilfrey, despite trying to run from everything, ended up doing spectacularly well with his
Yes.
bow and arrow. And Sindri kind of flailed about like a headless chicken, dropped his mace, and was all around useless, and only got his first kill in when the other guy had already surrendered. So just to add more fuel to Sindri's grumpiness, he couldn't even fight people who burned his home down properly. After that, we were able to leave. Our boss, Orma, was able to interrogate one last prisoner before he sort of expired. There was many manly tears shed. There was much searching for belongings. There was great speeches. There was savage torture. I think the same guy that we did torture, actually, he didn't just expire. We specifically tied him to a giant X-shaped cross, flayed him alive, and left him hanging.
Yeah.
Quite nice. We then, because we need to make it clear that we're not at all nice people, and this is not a nice world. There will be blood, and there will be gore, and there will be suffering unimaginable by modern standards, I'm sure.
Pretty much. It will be. I think it's pretty safe to say that the death and destruction is probably going to be fairly spectacular. But then,
Yes.
well, those few of you who have prior knowledge of the world know that that's pretty much par for the course here.
Don't I know it?
Exactly.
But
so, yes.
aside from that, we gathered together what remained of the families and friends of the dead within Kubor, put them all together on the one Phelan ship that had been left behind due to the fact that we kind of disabled it, and we gave them a Viking funeral, for lack of a better term. We put them all in, set them all on fire, and honoured them in memory. And then Orma and Hrani and everyone else sort of got together, had a talk, and we decided, right, we're going to go sailing. We discussed whether or not we might go to Vananess first to inform the Raven Lady, but we decided, nah, she's got it. She knows. She'll do stuff. Because it turns out that just to add to the mustache-twirling villainy, the Phalans had thrown in their lot in with the Sword of Strife, who's in direct opposition to the Sword of the Wanderer, who is our sword.
Yes.
And so we decided, she can handle things. We just need to go off and get stronger. She'll be able to handle everything without us. And we decided we were going to sail off to the Green Shores, known in the local tongue of that nation as Tirglas. And yes, we're going to do that eventually. We had some talk around a big bonfire, and last we left off, I believe Frody was engaged in a mushroom samba where he was meeting the Raven Lady sort of in person-ish for the first time.
Yes.
Well, it's not the first time, but, in this fever dream.
Yes, exactly. He was having a spirit walk vision sort of thing, and he was having a conversation with a very hoarse and raspy woman, also known as the Raven Lady.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely interesting.
And yes, that is indeed where we start up. So basically, where we rejoin you is the next morning. The sun is shining. It is a remarkably beautiful day. There is a breeze, strong breeze, but a breeze nonetheless. And you have it at your backs. So the sail has been set, and you are on a course north by northwest, which is going to take you to the Green Shores.
Question.
Yes.
Did I fall asleep immediately after my vision?
Yes. You
Okay,
were
because
out.
otherwise I would have gone to Orma.
Yes. No, you wake up and you guys are already out to sea.
Oh. In that case, I'm mightily confused.
Yes.
Yes, I'm guessing Ilva is mightily confused as well.
So I've basically just been catatonic.
You've had a
You cut out. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, others, quite a few people, slept fairly well that night. It's been emotionally taxing. Enough people have been active and awake and alert to, everybody has been carried on board, the ship is set off and so on. And basically out from a perspective of, let's not waste any more time, and for goodness sakes, let us not stick around when 3 more ships arrive to pick up the remaining Phelan mercenaries, because we beat them, but we're not going to be able to beat that many. So that's why you guys are now sailing happily across the Great Blue Sea towards the Green Shores.
What? Oh, I just imagined Ilva is going to say, well, there'll be 3 more boats. Yay! More to kill! And we're not going to say, aww.
Yes.
No, come here. Aww.
So, you have time. As I said, the sail is set, and it's a very clear day. You're making very good speed, excellent speed, in fact, and yeah, you have time to socialize, interact, whatever you want.
Well, I think as soon as it becomes apparent that we've left and all that, Frodi will definitely try and see if he can find Orma.
Oh yes, absolutely. He is.
It's pretty hard hiding on this ship.
Yeah, it's hard to hide on the ship. Also, he is standing right now. He's sitting on a one of those 3-legged folding chairs that you can fold out very easily to and carry around very easily as well. And he's got one of those, and he is sitting looking down the length of the ship. He is right next to Ilva, who is obviously no, she just woke up as well, I guess, then. Or is she already awake and on the steering oar? That's up to you.
She's probably already on the steering oar, but she's grumpy, so Peepy leaves her alone. It's really funny.
Yep.
She looks like a wolf that's been taking its food away.
Ooh.
Captain?
Yes, Frodi. You suddenly passed out last night. Are you all right?
Yeah. I had a vision, in fact.
Interesting. What of?
At least, I'm pretty sure it was a vision. I've not really had one before, but I'm
told, without knowing anything about magic, or He doesn't use the word magic. He calls it Frohleicher. But for the ease of everybody's vocal cords, we'll just stick with magic. I don't know anything about that, but I'm quite reliably told that when you have such an experience, you kind of tend to know.
Yeah. Well, I had a vision.
Good. What of? Well, maybe good.
I think so. Yeah, I had a vision of Gangaria.
Oh, wow. You mean you saw her do something, or I mean, what happened?
I spoke with her.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
Well, that's a
she
considerable honor,
certainly
obviously.
made an impressive entrance.
Right. Well,
What?
an impressive entrance.
Seems she's aware what's happening,
That's
and
good.
I think she approves of our journey. What was it she said?
She said something along the lines of, go get stronger.
Oh no, about the raven.
Oh, yeah, unleash the
I
raven.
kind of want to say it right.
Yeah, unleash the raven and let it fly.
She said, "Unleash the raven and let it fly."
That's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well, let's see if the crew takes to it. Never hurts to have a good war cry.
Yeah. I like it as a war cry.
Yeah. It's, as far as I'm concerned, he says, we may be sailing under Phelan colors, under Herborg colors, obviously. We have the sail is still in our colors. Your cloaks are still in our colors. Hell, the shields are still painted in our colors. But with what you just say, it sounds like we're sailing under her banner.
We should make sure to honor her then.
We should, shouldn't we? And if nothing else, that is a stab in the eye of the Phalans as well, the traitorous bastards. So, thank you for telling me. I'm very pleased that I'm very pleased with this. It's an auspicious omen.
Yeah. I guess it can only look up from here.
Yes, it only can. But there is a whole world out there, and if we are not made to see it, then who is?
Yeah. Do you want me to try a reading for the winds and weather, or do you think it'll hold?
I think it'll hold for a while, at least until the teeth. We should have a good strong wind until the teeth. By the time we get to the teeth, however, it would probably be nice to not actually be carried onto them by the wind. Just
Yes.
saying. So, yes, it might be a good idea when we get a little closer, but for the time being, just, rest a little. It's, we're going to need all our strength when we get there. It is my intention to make landfall and to see what opportunity presents itself. Sure, we can attack and destroy a village if we want to, but what good is that going to do us? I want us to get some actual experience.
Well, if you don't mind, Captain, I would probably take to an oar. I feel like doing something so I don't have to sit around and think.
That's probably very wise. I may come and push you off that oar bench at some point, just so I can do the same.
He nods and goes to find an oar bench.
Yes. Well, There are a few people on the oars, obviously. Not with the sail set. It's not strictly speaking necessary, but it's always a good way of also helping to steer right along with Ylva on the steering oar. It's a helpful extra method of steering a ship like this, to also have at least some oars in the water. And and that is indeed the case. There's obviously the mood on the ship is not. People are not in terribly good spirits. That would probably be asking too much at this point. But there is a very. People are very determined. There's a general feeling that this is what you are doing right now is important, and they don't even know about the vision yet, obviously.
Now I'll leave that to the captain to figure out when to tell them.
Yep. Or if. But what about the rest of you? What guys? What do you, blah 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 blah? What do you guys do?
Growl softly at everyone who comes too close.
Don't know if Sindri might have already gotten some sleep, or if he'd wait until we're close to the teeth to get up in the crow's nest and keep
The
an eye out
teeth
for
is more
openings.
than several days away, so.
Oh, good. In that case, at the moment, with the leave of the captain, he's still getting some rest.
Yeah, sure. And what about the rest of you then? So we have one who's on the oar, one who's still sleeping, and one who's on the steering oar.
I think Baggy is telling stories to anyone who wants to hear them.
Quite a few will. Quite a few.
Well,
will.
then he's definitely telling stories about the his run-in with the Last Stand Brotherhood.
Oh right, yes, that is a popular tale, definitely.
Yes, and he's probably making himself
Am I the only one who can't hear that?
Sounds like it. I can hear him fine.
I can hear him just fine. Hello, can you hear us? Aya?
AJ!
Okay, sounds like Aya has a problem with her.
She does hear us.
Oh, okay. But you can't hear. Anyone else? Oh, okay. Well, we've had problems for you with sound and so on before. Maybe try hopping out of the call and back in and see if that helps.
Woo!
Can you hear me now, AJ?
Hey,
Hi!
hey,
Cool.
Yay!
yay!
Well, like I was saying, I think Baggy is making himself out to be more heroic than he probably really was.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that's what Baggy's doing.
It's pretty clear from everybody's face that they're appreciating the tall tale, but they aren't really buying that you should have been this great big awesome hero in the face of one of the most hard-nosed warbands in the Southlands. They're like, yeah, okay, fun story, Baggy, fun story. but everybody who's listening is glad that you're providing a distraction and something else to think about and something to, focus on and so on. And
that's part of the reason why he does it.
Of course.
Other than just Baggy liking telling stories, but part of the reason is the distraction thing.
Yes. For himself as well, I gather.
Yep.
Yeah. So you tell stories. That leaves Gulfi and who else? I think that's what. Yeah. What is Gulfi doing?
I think Gulfi would just do whatever he's usually doing at the ship, like probably prepping some food or stitching what needs to be stitched, and or looking towards people that are not like 100% yet.
He's actually a rather popular man today because people were involved in a fight yesterday, and that means that there are cuts and tears in people's clothing.
Yeah.
And seeing as you can't just go home and get some spare clothes, his skill with a needle is actually in pretty hot demand.
Yeah.
You're a hot item. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
He's just being buried under the pile of dirty pants.
Yes, definitely.
Oh.
Captain Skidmark. the world's most disgusting superhero.
Only took less than half an hour to get to the sex jokes. Well done, everyone.
Not a sex joke, it was a poop joke.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't find skid marks particularly sexy.
No.
Fair enough. Well, that says a lot about my state of mind, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's that I got the two terms mixed up. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of carpet burns rather than skid marks.
Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, this is a service announcement. No, we have absolutely no intention of keeping this kosher, PG-13, or even vaguely adult. So let's go. Let's get back to the situation on the ship. I mean, obviously, people are still fairly heavily affected, very heavily affected by what has happened. There are some people who basically do not say a single word for the rest of the day. Food is, I mean, obviously being on a ship, it's difficult to come by anyway. But food is in this case handled with bread and salted fish, because nobody has even had the presence of mind to actually try and catch any fish while you're sailing anyway. Even with the distractions provided by Baggy telling his stories, or Frothy pulling out some of his games, his board game, and so on. Even with all of that, even with people throwing dice or tossing piglets on at the bottom of the ship, or whatever, it's all you can't distract yourself from a tragedy like the one you've just gone through. You can't do that completely, no matter how hard-nosed you are. And it is affecting people, and it keeps affecting people for several days afterwards. But on the third day of sailing, and you've had good wind 2 days out of the 3, and on the third day, which is when you are the first 2 days you have good wind, and on the third day you all have to go on the oars because the wind dies down almost completely. But the what is it called? The mast is lowered, and everybody goes on the oars, and you are approaching what is known as the teeth of the Great Wolf, which is a series of reefs protecting the Southlands. It is a massive series of very, very sharp and deadly and jagged underwater reefs, stretching for many days of travel in every direction, or in either direction. It is at least 20 days to sail from one end of the teeth to the other. It's basically, you do not approach the Southlands unless you go through the teeth of the Great Wolf. And it is, let's just say that if you don't know the passages through that place, even a Southlander ship with its very, very shallow draft and flat bottom is in dire straits. The bottom of the ship would be torn open. You would sink in a matter of moments if you actually tried to go over this reef. But Then again, you have skilled navigators on board, people who have sailed this way before and who know how to get through. And as you get there, there's people are basically told to what's it called? Yeah, everybody on the oars are basically told exactly when to pull on the oars. So it'll be, somebody is directing and saying, okay, you, that oar bench over there, and the next 3 oars take 2 strokes on the oars. It has to be almost surgical precision to get through this series of reefs. As you what is it called? As you approach or as not as you approach, but as you pass into these reefs, everybody should please do me a favor and roll. And you need to roll. Perception, and if you have perception hearing, which is higher than it's basically you roll perception hearing. So yeah, it's on your first page of your character sheet.
Yep.
Now, what would we? Did all of us or only the ones on the oars?
Everyone.
Okay.
Just roll a little dice symbol next to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is under skills.
Very nice. No, it's on the very first page of your character sheet.
General, I think it's called.
General?
Yeah, and then right underneath your basic stats, you have per.
Ooh.
Yes.
Per.
Exactly. So, yes.
Ta-da!
There you go. Okay, everybody except Buggy. That's actually pretty good. And Baggy is only 1 over, so basically, you know what? I'm gonna let you all hear this, and I'll say that Sindri, you get, and Gylfi, you two get a little more than the others, but you all hear music, very faint music, as you sail through these reefs. It sounds like. It's so faint for most of you that you can barely make it out, and at first you're not sure if it's somebody else on the ship who may be humming, on another oar bench or something. But especially Baggy, you're not certain of that at all. But you do hear the music. But both Gylfi and Sindri, you two hear more clearly that it is a song. It's a woman singing a lullaby.
Uh-oh.
Oh goodness me! Oh goodness me! I get prior knowledge. Is this something that any of our?
No.
Is this something that's no? This isn't okay. That's fine.
Would that be something covered by area knowledge, Southlands?
Yes. That it might. Those of you who can distinguish that it's a woman singing a lullaby, yes.
Also, I also had a question.
Yes. Let's first see the area rolls. Okay, you both miss the area knowledge roll, so you're not sure what it is. Okay.
I hit it.
Oh.
With a 10 versus 13.
That's true, you did. Huh, sorry. Yes, then in that case, you do in fact know a little bit about this area. That there is a story of a captain whose ship struck the reef and sank with the loss of all hands, including the captain himself, and that his wife, who was waiting back for him back in the Southlands, had, well, let's just say she had a vision of her own. that something dreadful had happened to her husband, and she went down to the ocean and she took a boat and she began to row, and by the intercession of the powers and her own craftiness and her determination and strength and skill, she made it to this part of the reef where a small part of one of these reefs stuck out of the water. It still did at the time. It doesn't anymore. It's weathered since. But at the time, there was still a small piece of rock sticking out of the water, and she went up on this piece of rock and pushed the boat away and sat there and sang the same song to her husband that she would usually sing to him before he went to sleep at night. And the Lord of Waters took pity on her and let her join her husband, and she's still singing to him. That's the story, anyway.
Well, that's nice.
In a kind of creepy way, yes. Yes, the reason I was getting all flustered is because this, potentially shameless plug time, this is a story that will be covered in one of the books that our Game Master has written in this world. So
yes, but yes, the song doesn't. There's no interference or anything, and once you've sailed a little bit further along, you can't hear it anymore. But it does take you most of a day to get through the reefs. It's a very complex process. It takes a long time. It takes a great deal of skill, but you manage. You get through. No harm has been done. The closest you ever get to it is a couple of you at one point feel your the blades of your oars scrape against rock, and that's the closest you get to being in trouble. And let's see. So yes, by nightfall you are safely out on the other side, and you've put enough distance between yourselves and the teeth that the captain basically tells everyone to pull up the oars and throw out the drift anchor and just, get some rest, put some lines in the water and see if you can't catch some fresh fish, and just, relax and unwind a little.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few people do throw lines in the water, obviously, because, fish, food,
anything
for salted.
It's a chance for fresh food would be nice, yes.
So, sorry, please go on.
Sorry, I wonder what the Southlanders. I wonder if the Southlanders have like a special word for scurvy.
Probably.
Probably yes.
Salt rot or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
But anyway, yes.
Yes. But you guys sit around, chat, probably tell more tall tales, play some more board games. At one point, a couple of people start singing, and somebody immediately piles up on Webrander to make him not sing, because you can just hear it. Somebody strikes out on a lovely tune, and you can just see the guy getting up and a big smile on his face, and he takes a deep intake of breath, and 3 men pull him down and just hold his mouth. It's like, nope, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes him look quite dejected, obviously, because
poor guy.
Yeah,
you sound like shit.
Yes, he does.
We pity you, but we still don't want to let you sing. So.
Yes. And as the that takes place, and a few people basically start to some go to sleep early, and after a moment or a few moments after the song has stopped, one of the crewmen sits down with, let's see, who's he going to sit down with? He's going to sit down with, I don't know, are you guys sitting together or are you spread out, or?
Well, I'm definitely looking for someone to play Tafel with.
Yes.
Sindri might be sitting close by to Ulva, but he might. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think Sindri will go over and join. Well, he'll look at Frothy and then wonder if anyone else wants to go there first. But he'll.
Hey, if he's the first one to express an interest, then there you go. He can
Yeah.
go over and play.
Yes, he's not played it before, so.
No, but then he can get his clock cleaned while learning.
I'd love to teach you, because then I have one more person to play with.
Yes. Fair enough.
And takes about, I don't know, maybe half a game of Tafel. Then boom. Let's see who's coming over. It'll be Spana coming over. One of the battle maidens comes over and sits down and looks at the game. She doesn't comment. She doesn't make any, good suggestions or anything to ruin it. She's got enough respect for the game to let it happen. But she's clearly showing an interest, and
I should be happy to play you after I'm done beating Zinley.
Sure, certainly. Grumble. She says, well, now that we're through the teeth, have you two ever been to the Green Shores before?
Nope.
No.
Small people.
Yeah, I understood that they only went to around your waist. That'll be fun.
Maybe not quite that low, but small.
Ah, good. Then I don't have to watch out so I don't accidentally kick one in the head.
No. Not except they're children, anyway. But
At least they'll be easier to punch in the face.
yeah, if they stand still long enough for it, they're quick.
I'll bet you I'm quicker.
I guess you might be. They're quick and they're clever, and they're not easily vanquished, if that's what you think.
Stubborn people, then.
We're better warriors than they are. True. But they're tenacious.
Well, I would doubt a single ship could take on a whole country either way.
No, that wouldn't happen. Of course, there are many countries still, many different swords still fighting there. I think the captain has plans to see if he can't get us a job.
Well, it's nice to know we're not the only ones who still have internal conflicts.
I think you'll find most of the world still does. But my point is, she says, there's a lot of silver to be made there.
Yes. I was under the impression that Battle Maiden weren't exactly in a position to earn a great fortune to retire on.
We're not in a position to earn a great fortune to retire on, because strictly speaking, most of us never get to retire.
Indeed.
But silver still buys you nice things.
Yes. We must all have nice things, I suppose.
Do they have magic?
Yes, they do.
Are they powerful then?
Some of them are. But I suppose it's a bit like back home. They live longer. Those who
Really?
use magic, yes.
The magic doesn't eat them.
No, not from what I can tell. I've seen... The few times I've been there, I've met, I think, 3 side makers, and 2 of them were quite advanced in years.
I wonder if that could be taught.
Possibly. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. I'm not an expert, obviously.
Well, I intend to give it a try then.
Of course. It wouldn't make sense not to. I mean...
I'm in no hurry to have my lungs rot while I'm still breathing.
No, and I think all the rest of us would prefer to have you alive as well. It's good to have someone on board with your skills.
And of course my sunny disposition.
That too.
Yeah.
As opposed to you, she says, and manages a smirk in Sindri's direction.
I have a perfectly sunny disposition. Can't you tell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You can just see the thundercloud forming over his head.
it's just overcast.
You have such a low opinion of me.
No, actually, I have quite a high opinion of you. I'm just saying that you're not particularly sunny.
Now that's not true. He's as sunny as those special days when the sun goes all dark.
Oh, yes. Yes, those. The ones where we all hide under our beds and quake in terror that the powers are coming to take us.
Exactly.
Good hunting light.
Possibly, yes. Or I would imagine so. No, I was just asking, she says, because I don't think there are that many of us who have actually been there before. I have. Yarngather has. Bjorn Blue Eyes, obviously. Ronnie has. Clearly has. Orn and Black Sweetie. A few others. But not many.
Well, that does raise a good point, of course, is that anyone who has been there will need to speak to these people on our behalf. I can't imagine that any of them speak our language.
I think only very few of them do. They have their own.
Well, of course, everyone
their own
does.
tongue. Well, 2 actually, if I remember correctly.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, well, one of them is very old and was apparently not used by... was not used by the humans there for very long.
You are telling me that they have what? Speaking Drauga?
No. Well, they might, for all I know. I'm talking about their Alfar. Their what did they call them? I can't remember. Something. They have a... There is another people living there as well. They are insular. I don't think we're likely to see many of them, if any of them.
Alpha and those willowy, horse-eared people.
Yes.
Interesting.
It might be good to have a talk about sharing as much as we can.
Yep. Well, that's why I'm talking to you guys now, amongst other things. I'm doing the rounds. So are the others, if you look around.
I think Frodi smirks at the idea of a battle maiden going around to all the guys, but he doesn't comment on it because he's not that dumb.
He wants to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, she says, I just wanted to be sure because, yeah.
It is good of you, thank you.
Oh, yeah, well, we are all in this together. We all have to stay safe.
Of course.
We all go together when we go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank you, Mr. Lara.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but she just, she sits there and she talks a little more with you, and eventually when in all likelihood, when Frodi has severely beaten Sindri a few times, then she takes over on the tafelboard and provides him with a bit more sport.
Yeah, Sindri will be paying attention so that he can learn some things as well.
Yes.
Smart boy.
It's just, but in between that and glaring at Frodi in a way that says, "One day."
Yeah. What you learn of her game style is she is suicidally aggressive. in
That
her.
is definitely a way to play.
It is. It also takes you by surprise the first time you play against her.
See, that's much more. I mean, I need to teach Sindri so he can be a good opponent later, but it's also nice to have an actual good opponent every
Yes.
now and again.
Yes.
Is that in character or?
Yeah, I think he makes a comment as to that.
One more comment in that vein, Frodi. I'm taking that board and throwing it into the ocean.
Well, that
If
will
you
be-
do that, she says, without looking up from the move that she's about to make, I'll pick you up and throw you after it so you can get it.
I'll sink to the bottom with it, just glaring at you until the Lord of Waters takes me and does what he will.
You would too, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You are a humorless creature. You do realize that, right? And
only
coming from me, she says, that's saying something.
I save my humor in a small purse within my soul, and I use it only for those who feel need it.
Aye.
Don't worry, Sindri. I'm confident I'm a good teacher. You might eventually figure out how to beat me.
Eventually.
Maybe not beat you, but I'd like to be able to last long enough for it to be a gracious defeat.
Well, I can always let you have a gracious defeat. He smirks.
Just keep playing. I'll watch.
Yeah. And let's pop over to some of the others. What would the rest of you be up to on this fine, beautiful evening out at sea?
Peeing over the railing.
Yeah, you would too, wouldn't you?
Probably eventually.
Wow, deep silence.
Well, since none of the others are speaking, I think Baggy would. What would Baggy be doing? I think he would, at some point at least, he would spend most of the evening doing social stuff, such as
Yes.
tall tales and games and all that. But
Yes.
at some point, he'll see if he can get some measure of privacy.
Well, he can always, pretend to go to sleep at the absolute aft of the ship and pull a blanket over him.
That's what he'll do then.
Yes. And he will be having a very grunting nightmare for the next 20 minutes.
Yes, he absolutely will. Something to that.
I love this. I love this trait in this character. It's just too much. All right.
If by the aft means right by the helm, then don't do it.
Well, he'll try to make sure that no one's around, especially not a shield mate or a battle mate. Because
Well, basically, I think maybe, in all fairness, seeing as it makes more sense that people would congregate towards where the steering oar is, then you'd
Yeah.
probably be at the stem of the ship instead of at the stern.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then in any case, you do get some privacy because yes.
That's good. That's good.
And you also when you come out from under there are a couple of the other male crew members who just look at you with this, geez, grow some self-control, dude. None of them are saying anything, mind you, but there are some looks.
No.
There are some looks, and the
Adding foam to the water.
oh, ew. Okay, you guys are yes. So
we are.
what? That takes care of him certainly.
Yep.
What?
He takes care of him.
Yeah. Bleh. Yeah. Somebody get him a blart sock. And the rest of you, what do you do?
Stay away from the grunting blanket.
Yes. Well, that's not a problem.
He's not the burning man. He's the grunting man.
The grunting man, yeah.
Well, actually, at some point, at some point, because you have time and nothing fancy is happening and so on, Webrander actually makes the suggestion: why don't we put up the deck? And people look at him, confused as to why he wants to put up the deck, because of course there are planks on board so that you can form a small aft deck on the ship. And then he cracks his knuckles and says, I will wrestle any of you or all of you in turn if you want, but I'm bored. And that actually gets some traction with people. That's an interesting way of spending time. So the deck is put up, and Webrander takes off his tunic and basically stands there looking all enormous and powerful and broad-shouldered and ready to wrestle anyone to the ground. And a few people actually step up to have a match.
Who the fuck is it?
Webrander, the guy who can't sing.
Yeah.
Let me just... this guy.
It's said in one way, but it's written in another.
I mean, this is him getting his payback for not being able to sing. He's
Yes, exactly. He is now getting his revenge.
At least he thinks so. So Ilva stands up.
Oh dear, this is gonna be fun.
Interesting.
Do you have any ranks in Glima or any other form of unarmed combat?
Of course she does.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. Well,
I
because
can find it.
basically what happens, of course, is that whenever he wins, he makes sure to dump whoever the loser is over the side of the ship, and then they have to be pulled back on board.
That's not good because you can't swim. Oh, hey, she can! Woohoo! She can swim. It's amazing.
Right. So.
Well, if she wins, she's dumping him over the side.
Okay, let's see. Let's
Roll.
see some rolls.
On.
Right on the money.
Right on the money. Let's see what he can do.
Well, it's better than last time where it was 1 over all the time.
Yeah. How the hell?
Whoa.
That's 3d8s. That might have something to do with it.
Why are you rolling 3d8?
I don't know. I'm supposed to roll 3d6. Let's try again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is also right on. So
Another roll.
another round. This is a good match already. It lasts more than a few moments.
Woohoo! 8!
8. Let's see.
Collar and elbow tie for
He
me.
also rolls 8, which means that you are 3 under, but he's 6 under.
Damn it.
So he's got an advantage on you here, and he gets a good grapple or a good hold on you. And next round, he will be quite capable of tossing you into the water if you cannot counter it or break it in some way. So, roll again. Right on. Yeah. Okay.
Damn it!
He makes a sound along the lines of, and then he lifts her off her feet. According to the rules of Glima, which are quite specific, you're only allowed to move around each other to the left, and you're only allowed to make to grapple each other in very specific ways. But it's a method of making people. It's a method of making them lose their balance without pushing, and consequently, he gets you off your feet and is about to dump you into the water. I'm gonna let you roll one more time. Just you roll against your
Right on again.
Right on again. Okay, so the point being that he's good at Gleamer and you're good at just general brawling. So basically, you don't have all the counters to all his moves. But when he does start to toss you into the water, you manage to still keep a hold of him. So as he throws you, you manage to get a good grip on his belt. And he takes a head dive into the water right along with you.
Like, fuck no, you're coming with me.
Yeah, pretty much. Which obviously gets a right good laugh out of everyone, because that's, if nothing else, that is absolutely hilarious. And Vabrander is a good sport about it. So basically, he only dunks you under the water once, and then he swims back to the ship and offers you a hand up.
Also, I do think we already said that her brawling was Gleamer.
Oh, right. Well, in any case,
It's just not written like that because I have no idea how to, write it.
Oh, it's on. If you want to change it, it's on Vibrander's profile.
All right.
But yes, you get. In any case, you go into the water, and he comes with you, and good laugh, good cheer. Everybody's having a good time with it. It helps lift the spirit a little bit on board ship. Definitely, people are in a slightly better mood as the evening continues. Is there anything the rest of you would like to do, or shall we pop over to the very next day?
Say we pop.
We pop
Yes.
to the following day.
I agree with.
Well,
I agree with.
Baggy did pop.
Yes, he did indeed. Ugh. Nothing specific actually happens on the following day. Again, sea travel is... Well, it takes a long time, and it's usually duller than watching paint dry.
Sea travel, I imagine, is much like warfare.
It's a lot of waiting around doing fuck all, interspersed with very, very brief, very frantic episodes of hyperactivity and dread.
Yes, what was it? Long stretches of inaction followed by brief moments of sheer terror.
Yes, pretty much. And but you do, after 3 more days at sea and getting to the point where, no, we want to see land, all of us, because this is, no, just land now, please. Mm-hmm. When you get to that point, you actually, you spot another ship.
Uh-oh.
Or rather, more specifically, Sindri spots another ship from up on high.
All right. Which direction in regards to a compass?
It is, you're still going north by northwest, and this one's due north. So it's not much of a course change for you guys to get to it. It is a very it is a vessel not completely unlike your own, but it's smaller and it doesn't look like it's got a mast.
Okay.
Huh.
I obviously call out to the crew that I see a ship, describe it, and the direction it's in.
Yep. Well, obviously, that gets some attention, and Ormer immediately tells Ilva to adjust course so that you will be heading towards this other vessel. But he's not ordering anyone to draw weapons or attack just yet. He seems more interested, or he says he wants to talk to whoever is on board. He wants to learn more about the Green Shores before getting there.
So obviously, it's a fairly reasonable assumption that that's where it came from, but almost convinced that this is a ship of the Green Shores.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you're close to the Green Shores, so even if it wasn't a ship from there, it's likely that it has been there.
Yes, of course.
And as you get to within range of this ship, Sindri, again, you're still up on the you're still up on the yard of the of the mast, and you can actually see land in the absolute, just at the extreme distance. You can see land.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I won't shout that out just yet because we've got enough to worry about.
You're gonna wait until the whole situation with the okay. Makes sense. Don't
want to get anyone's hopes up just in case by some miracle these short-ass ginger freaks are able to defeat us. Ship.
Okay. You
He has such a polite way of saying it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I'm really getting into the character here.
Yes, because obviously Sindri does not like people who are not Southlanders. Because he is a bit of a racist.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. I want to point out that I'm worried that there will be times where I feel quite uncomfortable playing myself, but I want to see what I can get into the character.
We'll see. You might eventually buy off that disadvantage for all you know.
I hope so.
You get what's it called? You get within range. They do at first. It's pretty clear they have no interest in being too close to what is obviously a warship, and they're trying to, get away from you. But it's no contest whatsoever. You catch up easily. You realize that it is in fact this is a trading vessel. It's got a crew of 14 in all. They do have cargo on board. From the looks of it, it's fairly low in the water. So again, part of the reason why this ship isn't particularly fast. But even if it was, you can tell it's kind of, sort of, ish the same basic sort of design as your own, except the ship that you're in is a thoroughbred while they are in a lame mule. That's the difference. Your ship is just superior in every sense. And but as you pull up,
I understand them though. Fuck Southlanders, run! Hey, come back!
Come back here. We just want to talk.
Right.
Well met.
Well, as they as you pull up alongside, you can see that the people on board, they are unarmed, and several of them are, well, they're clearly afraid, which does make a certain amount of sense.
I don't understand it. We all look so friendly.
Yeah. But Ormer actually beckons for Baggy to come over.
Unfortunately, Buggy is absent in real life.
Oh. All right, well, we shall wait for him to come back, because he's the one who speaks the lingo.
Yes.
Buggy, come pee on them to mark our territory.
Buggy's busy.
Yes, just take their captain and put them both under a tent, and then.
Well, you know what, guys? We could instead of this, we can take this opportunity to take our first break.
Yes.
And hopefully we will have Baggy back by the time we get back here. So for our viewing audience, please don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more of the Long Voyage.